Your Social Security payment date for this Wednesday is critical, but there's urgent news about a potential $2,000 payment that changes everything. If you're watching the calendar for your next benefit deposit, you must see this before midweek. Massive confusion is swirling over who gets paid on January 19th and why many are anticipating deposits that simply aren't scheduled. Overlook one key fact, and you'll spend all day anxiously refreshing your bank account. Meanwhile, news feeds are flooded with headlines promising $2,000 stimulus checks connected to the former president. Certain posts and videos imply these funds are already on the way. That type of rumor is risky when you're budgeting on a fixed income. Today, we're cutting through the noise to give you the plain facts. This information is for retirees, seniors, and disability benefit recipients seeking truth, not sensationalism. No misleading titles, no empty guarantees, just a straightforward explanation of the real situation so you can plan with confidence. Welcome to my channel, your source for clear, reliable updates on Social Security, Medicare, stimulus talks, and cost of living adjustments. If you depend on a fixed income or are mapping out your retirement, this channel exists to keep you accurately informed and safe from false claims. Hit subscribe and turn on alerts so you never miss crucial news that impacts your benefits and finances. All right, if you're awaiting a January 19th Social Security deposit, stick with me. We're going to detail precisely which group is paid this Wednesday, when funds typically land, and the real story behind those $2,000 payments discussed by President Trump. This subject is everywhere, and I get how unsettling it can be when you're counting every dollar. You've likely caught wind of this stimulus chatter on TV, online, or from loved ones. Some stories present it as a done deal, as if checks are already being printed, and I totally see why that would lift your spirits. With costs climbing and monthly checks buying less, an extra $2,000 feels like a vital safety net. But I value your trust too much to peddle speculation or partial truths. My aim is to lay out what's confirmed, what's still up in the air, and what you can practically anticipate. I've sifted through official statements, fact checks, and legislative debates so you don't have to parse bewildering headlines yourself. That's my daily mission here, to filter out the chaos and deliver trustworthy, easy-to-grasp info. Before we go further, if these direct and honest breakdowns assist you, please subscribe and enable notifications. I'm here regularly covering Social Security, Medicare, and any news that influences your wallet and benefits. Now, let's begin with concrete information: the Social Security payment calendar. This Wednesday, January 19th, payments are issued to recipients with birthdays landing between the 11th and the 20th of any given month. That's the SSA's standardized system. It hinges solely on your birth date, not your benefit start date or enrollment history. So whether your birthday is in April, August, or November, if the day falls in that 11th to 20th range, Wednesday is your payment date. This covers retirement benefits, Social Security disability insurance, and survivor benefits. If you're in this category, expect your deposit on the 19th. Much misunderstanding stems from the belief that everyone is paid simultaneously, which hasn't been the case for years. Now here's the twist that trips up countless people. If you began receiving Social Security before May 1997, you operate on a totally separate timetable. Those individuals are paid on the third day of each month, regardless of their birth date. If that's you, your January payment already arrived earlier this month. For SSI, Supplemental Security Income recipients, your January payment was actually sent back in late December. Why? Because January 1st was a weekend, and the SSA doesn't process payments on holidays or weekends, so they moved the date forward. Therefore, SSI recipients should not expect another payment on January 19th. And if you get both Social Security and SSI, those are always dispersed separately on different days, which adds another layer of complexity. For those paid later in January, the next Social Security date after the 19th is January 26th, for birthdays falling between the 21st and 31st. Regarding timing, most direct deposits appear in accounts between midnight and roughly 3 a.m. on the scheduled date. Major institutions like Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo often post funds early. Credit unions differ. Some list deposits as pending the prior day, while others don't release them until business hours. If your money isn't visible by Wednesday afternoon, your first call should be to your bank. Frequently, the payment has been transmitted but hasn't been posted yet. If your bank has no record, then you should contact Social Security. The SSA advises allowing up to 3 business days before suspecting a significant issue. But if the payment is still missing after that, possible causes include an overpayment investigation, a benefit recalculation, or an adjustment related to your cost of living increase. Speaking of COLA, the adjustment you're receiving is already factored into your current payments. No further COLA is scheduled for this year. The next change won't happen until January 2026, and this is another hotspot for misinformation. For perspective, here are current benefit figures. The top Social Security benefit for someone delaying until age 70 who contributed the maximum is $5,180 monthly. If you retired at the full retirement age, now 67, the maximum is about $4,800. Claiming at the earliest age of 62 caps the maximum around $2,110. The average benefit across all recipients is approximately $1,125 per month. For many, that's not enough to meet today's living expenses comfortably. Full retirement age is now fixed at 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later. That change is fully implemented as of this year. Despite rumors, no further increase is currently planned. Now listen closely, because this is where misinformation runs rampant. President Trump has openly stated, on multiple occasions, his desire to send Americans, including Social Security recipients, a $2,000 stimulus check. That is a fact. He has said it publicly. However, proposing something and enacting it are entirely separate matters. This concept didn't just pop up. Back in July 2025, the president initially suggested $600 stimulus checks financed by tariff income. Senator Josh Hawley even wrote a proposal based on that idea. By October, the dialogue evolved, the sum grew, and the president started mentioning amounts from $1,000 to $2,000. More lately, he's consistently cited the $2,000 figure and expressed a wish to see it done before 2025 ends. So yes, this isn't media fiction. The president has discussed it often. But here's the actual situation. 3 major barriers block those checks from ever reaching your account. The first hurdle is a Supreme Court case. Currently, the court is examining whether the president possesses the legal power to impose these tariffs unilaterally. If the ruling goes against him, that tariff revenue vanishes, and so does the proposed funding for any stimulus. Analysis from the hearings indicates even some conservative justices have doubts, meaning this is uncertain. The second barrier is conflicting goals. The president has pledged to use tariff money for several simultaneous projects, reducing national debt, supporting recent tax cuts, and issuing stimulus checks. Analysts argue there likely isn't sufficient cash to accomplish all 3. Priorities will have to be set, and we don't know where stimulus checks rank. The third barrier is the calendar. We're already in mid-January. Congressional activity typically winds down late in the year, and passing new laws requires drafting, committee scrutiny, votes in both chambers, and a signature. Could it move fast? Possibly, but only if it becomes an utmost priority, and Congress acts with unusual speed. Here's my candid assessment. When President Trump drives an issue with full force, he frequently achieves movement. We observed this with recent tax laws. So, if stimulus checks become his primary focus, movement could occur. Yet, with so many variables in play, no one can responsibly claim that $2,000 checks are a certainty. I do believe that if tariffs have inflated costs, and most economists concur they have, then returning some of that money to consumers, especially seniors on fixed incomes, would be just. You've borne these price hikes more than most. But fairness and political reality often diverge in Washington. While we monitor developments, you can take actionable steps now. If you haven't already, set up a My Social Security account online at the SSA website. This lets you verify your payment sum, check deposit status, and see your payment record. If you're still getting paper checks, switching to direct deposit avoids mail delays, loss, and stress. It's also vital to explore other aid programs you might be eligible for. Numerous seniors qualify for SNAP benefits, LIHEAP energy assistance, Medicare savings programs that lower premiums, prescription aid, and property tax relief. These programs are meant to supplement Social Security, but many people never apply, thinking they won't qualify or the process is too burdensome. If you're on Medicare, don't just let your plan auto-renew for 2026. Major shifts are occurring. Some Advantage plans are ending in specific states. New prior authorization rules are taking effect, and Medigap choices are changing. Comparing plans during open enrollment can save you substantial money and avoid future shocks. So, here is the essential summary. If your birthday is between the 11th and 20th, your Social Security payment is slated for Wednesday, January 19th, and most will see it very early that day. Concerning the $2,000 stimulus checks, the President desires it, but serious legal, financial, and timing obstacles persist. Until a bill is passed and signed, no stimulus payment is assured. I understand the difficulty of living on Social Security. I know how much hope that $2,000 symbolizes for you, but false hope can hurt more than honest doubt. I give you my word. The instant something concrete occurs, not rumors, not headlines, but real legislative progress, I'll be here to explain precisely what it means for you. In the meantime, concentrate on what you can manage. Ensure you're receiving all benefits you're entitled to. Reevaluate your Medicare plan and seek methods to trim monthly costs. Before we finish, let's pause and acknowledge the strain many of you are under. Living on Social Security isn't merely about spreadsheet numbers. It's daily trade-offs, constant sacrifice, and worry over an unexpected expense. That pressure is genuine and merits transparency, not exaggeration. Each week I hear from individuals who've reduced grocery trips, postponed medical visits, or delayed prescriptions to make ends meet. When you're doing all you can and still coming up short, it's disheartening. That's why stimulus rumors spread so quickly. They touch a real, urgent need for help. You're not wrong for hoping. Hope is natural. But it's crucial where you place that hope. Investing all your emotional energy in an unapproved proposal can lead to devastation if it fails. That's why I stress the gap between political speech and enacted law. Many headlines are engineered for clicks, not your welfare. Terms like approved, dispatched, or arriving now generate traffic, but don't match reality. That reporting can cause genuine harm when people budget for money that isn't there. I've witnessed people put off applying for assistance, believing a stimulus is imminent. That's a gamble. Programs like SNAP, Energy Aid, and Medicare Savings are available today and provide ongoing monthly support, not a one-time sum. If paperwork feels overwhelming, you're not alone. Many seniors find it daunting, but counselors, nonprofits, and local agencies offer free, step-by-step application help. Financial stress can also lead to isolation. People withdraw, stop discussing struggles, and feel embarrassed about needing support. Please hear this. Needing help isn't failure. These systems exist because life is costly and unpredictable. For those supporting a spouse, a disabled adult child, or grandchildren, your financial load is even heavier. Social Security wasn't structured to support whole families, yet many of you are doing just that, a reality often missing from political conversations. Let's address the fear of benefit reductions. Currently, your Social Security is not being cut due to this stimulus conversation. There's no secret deduction or penalty attached. Your monthly benefit follows the existing formula. Still, always read Social Security notices thoroughly, even routine ones. Minor changes, reviews, or information requests can be buried in mail and cause problems if overlooked. If a letter confuses you, call the SSA or visit an office for explanation. It may take patience, but it's wiser than assuming. Never presume a notice doesn't concern you without verifying. Another critical reminder: scams surge whenever stimulus talk heats up. Scammers send texts, emails, and calls saying they can expedite your payment or confirm eligibility. Social Security will never solicit your details that way. Anyone asking for your Social Security number, bank info, or a fee to release benefits is a fraudster. Hang up, delete the message, and report it if possible. Safeguarding what you have is as important as hoping for more. Let's discuss budgeting. On a fixed income, budgeting isn't about eliminating all joy. It's about clear awareness of income versus essential outflows. Sometimes minor tweaks, like reviewing insurance, negotiating phone bills, or applying for prescription help, can recover funds you didn't know you were losing. These adjustments don't make the news, but they count. I also urge you to confide in someone you trust about finances. Keeping worries secret can magnify them. A fresh perspective might spot options you missed. For those nearing or recently in retirement, this phase can be particularly tough. Income may drop suddenly while expenses hold steady. Adjusting takes time, and that's okay. If you work part-time while collecting benefits, understand the earnings limits. Exceeding them can temporarily reduce benefits, an unwelcome surprise if unprepared. Healthcare costs remain a huge pressure. Even with Medicare, co-pays, deductibles, and medications accumulate. Reviewing your coverage annually isn't a luxury, it's essential. I know many of you feel worn out from constant reviewing, comparing, and applying. It can seem like a part-time job just to stay stable. That exhaustion is valid and widely shared. This is why I ground myself in facts. You deserve information that aids decision-making, not content that manipulates emotions. I treat that duty with utmost seriousness. Regarding the $2,000 stimulus discussion, the most prudent stance currently is informed caution. Stay aware, follow developments, but don't base your financial plans on it yet. If it advances, there will be clear signals, bills introduced, committee debates, and scheduled votes. That's when it becomes tangible, not when a talking point is repeated. Until then, your financial security depends on existing resources, the benefits you own, the programs you can access, and the choices you make today. These matter far more than speculation. Lastly, you are not invisible. Even when it feels like seniors are an afterthought, your voices carry weight. Staying informed, questioning, and advocating for yourself is powerful. If you're still watching, thank you for entrusting me with your time. I value that deeply. You could be anywhere, yet you're here. I'll keep monitoring every development, not just echoing headlines, but analyzing what truly affects you. If anything shifts, you'll hear from me promptly and plainly. Until then, please look after yourselves. Guard your personal information, be realistic in your expectations, and proactive with available resources. You deserve security, respect, and calm, not bewilderment and anxiety. So, the final takeaway. If your birth date is between the 11th and 20th, your Social Security payment is set for Wednesday, January 19th, with most direct deposits arriving early. For others, your date follows the standard later schedule. Knowing your precise date prevents unneeded worry. As for the $2,000 stimulus, President Trump has stated his wish for it to happen, but desire and law are different realms. Legal battles, funding issues, and congressional delays remain. Until legislation passes and is signed, no stimulus payment is guaranteed. Plan your budget around today's realities, not tomorrow's possibilities. In the meantime, focus on controllables. Verify your Social Security details. Scrutinize your Medicare options and research assistance programs you can use now. These actions might not trend online, but they can truly ease your monthly strain. If this video helped clarify the situation and protected you from false promises, please like this video and mention my channel in a comment below. Let me know your home state. Thank you for being part of our community. Take care, stay updated, and I'll see you next time.